doing, all you beautiful sons of bitches? It's your boy Backseater, and today the Sexplains are back, and they have some big fucking shit that happened this week on their fucking stupid-ass weekly show. But, yeah, let's just not dilly-dally. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? Apparently my dog's along for the ride. And, but don't worry, I also got my fucking ice cream for this, because I could tell I'm going to want to be here, and just, the nectar of the gods just doesn't feel good enough for the Sexplains at this point, because they're so fucking stupid. I need some shit to help me get through this. Need some fucking fuel. So let's just jump right into it actually now.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Last Week in Star Wars. I'm Alex.
I'm Molly.
Not a whole lot of Star Wars news to talk about.
Now that we're actually getting into actually decently, warm weather, I can at least let Molly pass wearing shorts now. She still has those ugly-ass man legs, though.
This week, we're going to just go ahead and dive right into the news. I think last week we missed some Mandalorian and Grogu talk. Very minor.
Oh, no! The fucking horror! How could we go a week without hearing about fucking Mando and Grogu? Those absolutely lovable characters, yeah. They're the fucking Kardashians of fucking Star Wars at this point. They just have to be. It's just not a news week without them, am I right?
Announcements, and also something exciting that they're going to upgrade the Smuggler's Run.
Also, Alex, what the hell is up with your shirt? I get it's supposed to be like the opening text crawl, but why is it just fucking lines? What is this shit?
Ride. I don't know if they're completely erasing the Corellia mission, or if it's going to be like a 50-50 chance of what you get.
Is that what it normally is, Corellia?
Yeah.
Oh.
You've written it 5 times.
Well, it's so chaotic.
You just close your eyes and fly.
I am so nervous every time I go in there because you have a job to do, and I take that very seriously.
I think we have only flown it once. We're usually stuck in the back end. Of
course they fucking went on the fucking stupid ass Disney rides
or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of I think engineer is the one where it's not as hard. I mean, you're all just kind of pressing buttons, right?
I mean, engineering is how you get the coaxium. So I argue.
Christ, even when they're talking about having fun, they sound boring as shit.
Probably the most important job, says the person who feels like they're always sitting back there.
I need to be in the extra seat in the way back, just cheering everybody on. I don't want to have to work on anything.
You're BB.
Wow, wow. That kind of sums up Molly a whole lot. She's like, I don't want to work on anything. Alex, you make the videos. Alex, you handle the equipment. Alex, you find the news we're talking about. I'm just here so I can sit here and look pretty with my ugly ass man legs and my Padme shirt.
With ropes tied to the walls just so you don't fall over. Yeah. That's the job you want.
I don't know if they're gonna leave it up to chance, because that's kind of how...
If you don't do as I say, I'ma fucking cuck you and you're sleeping on the couch tonight, Alex.
Star Tours.
Star Tours works is you don't really know what planet, location, trip you're gonna make, but I think if they're doing it to promote the movie, it'll just be kind of a constant thing for at least a month.
I agree. They're probably going to update it, let you just experience the Mando Grogu thing, especially if people are I just want to go to ride this specific ride. Mm-hmm. And then maybe eventually, when the movie's out, they're okay, now it's a 50-50 shot. I guess Hondo is still going to be the person sending you on the mission. So this brings up timeline questions that don't really matter, and that
who cares, Alex? It's a fucking theme park ride. It's not supposed to be canon to the actual fucking story of Star Wars. You dumbass fucking Christ. Does Alex just not understand that theme park rides aren't supposed to be canon to the actual plots? Apparently, Star Wars Explained still needs some shit explained to him.
Like, I don't even care about. It's like, does this mean Mando and Grogu are on a mission during the time of the sequel trilogy? No, probably not.
Fuck it, why not make that canon? Disney doesn't give a shit about continuity anyway, so fuck it. Anything goes in Disney Star Wars.
You're still on the Falcon.
Uh-huh.
You're not with Mando and Grogu. I think they're like in another ship, and so like it doesn't have to mean Mando and Grogu have met Hondo.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm sorry, this whole thing is making me laugh, because I feel like I've seen this in a dream before. I'm getting deja vu. And lest we forget, I'm really psychic. No, legit. I can see my future in my dreams, and I saw this in the future. Well, anyway.
Most of Batu takes place, like, in the sequel trilogy era. But, you know, they've been kind of getting rid of that, having characters from the New Republic era walk around. So I think this is, you know, Hondo was alive during this time, so he has the Falcon and he's sending you on a mission, and Mando and Grogu are there. Like, I don't think we have to think too hard about it.
It's also a big reminded. Has anyone seen Melvin's rant about fucking theme parks? Has anyone seen fucking Melvin's? I think he's ranting about like Theory or whoever. And fucking. It's just reminding me of this video Melvin made where it's like, he's all like, no, he wants a fucking Disney Star Wars theme park. They have this Universal app, fucking Jeff Goldblum showed up at Harry Potter World, then some Velociraptors come in. No, they keep them separated. You gotta keep them separated. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Or whatever the hell. Oh, it's funny. I'll be right back. I gotta get this to the freezer. Oh, I'm back, everybody. So I actually had to do a quick little watch of that fucking video, and I was wrong. It wasn't Simple Theory. It was Hello Greedo. Oh, but man, it was fucking hilarious, man. Oh, fucking Christ. You gotta love him when Melvin just tense up. He's like, no, he wants a super authentic park going bully time. Oh, fucking Christ. Oh my god, I gotta get back to the fucking video here, man.
Disney theme park, the point of being there is to have fun and have a good time. I don't think we should worry too much about what's canon and which timeline we're in.
It's just, I know
like,
those questions.
I mean, that's pretty much Disney's policy. It's like, canon, who cares? Just write whatever you want. We got product to push, man. We can't push a product if we think about fucking continuity and lore and shit, man.
Questions are going to pop up because we're still always asked about, like, Kylo Ren's helmet. And he wears that around on Batu.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's just pretend he had several. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Also, kind of a Parks and Mando and Grogu crossover is the BDX droids are going to make an appearance.
Oh god, these stupid ass little chicken robots that Molly was fawning over.
The movie?
Christ.
I am pretty excited about this because those little guys are so cute.
Yep, see, look right there. That's all this bitch cares about with Star Wars. She just wants cute shit. It's like, lady, you do realize that Star Wars is supposed to be a bit more fucking mature than this, right? Look at this. She got fucking Babu Frick. She got Nubs behind Alex, like you saw him earlier. It's like, lady, do you like anything in Star Wars that isn't cute? Anything?
And I think we've seen them. I know we've seen them in like one of the little golden books. I don't know if they've showed up in any comics or anything.
Who cares?
To see them and maybe Grogu interact would be really cute.
I'm curious.
Oh yeah, of course Grogu, but cringe. Imagine the fucking cringe that would result from that. Christ.
If they made these things for Mando and Grogu, and we're just kind of like debuting them in the park as well. I don't know which came first. Like, was this something that they wanted to make to have in the movie? Because they've done a BD droid, in the Book of Boba Fett, but
Yeah.
obviously it was digital. So are they just like trying to make a practical one for the movie, and they're like, we can put this in the parks too? It seemed like such an interesting experiment.
Who cares? Come on.
I want to say they made it for the parks first because the way that they are designed, it's very much like these little guys have to be able to walk around on their own and like entertain crowds of people. And they may not have designed them that way had they made them for a film.
I'm not really expecting them to have much of a presence in the movie. Usually, I feel like when they're showing something off this early about a film, it's like, this is kind of inconsequential. It's like Constable Zuvio. Like, let's put a picture of Zuvio out because we know he's barely in it. It kind of reminds me of Favreau tweeting out the picture of the Camtano, which was just a fun, cool thing. And it has some decent screen time for what it is. But
Sure.
I feel like they're just
Oh my
like, this is
God,
going to
no
be a
one
fun
gives
little
a
thing walking around in the background, or maybe it'll be featured.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone was there for that event and announcement and had been to the parks and seen them there, those people probably went crazy and were like, oh my God, I saw one of those. So like when he did the Campano tweet, we knew what that was, but we hadn't seen it like pop up recently in anything special.
No, I can't recall the last time anyone talked about that seriously. Like,
Yeah.
it was always like, oh, it's the ice cream maker thing.
Yeah.
So someone being like, look, we're going to put this in Star Wars, and it's actually going to have a purpose.
Get
And it's going to
on
be the
with
least convenient
it!
briefcase in the world, but we're going to do it.
And there's another little guy. His name was said, I think, at that panel. I don't
Yeah,
remember
of course. Another little guy, of course.
And Zellens are returning from Navarro. They were also in season 3 of The Mandalorian. Not really surprised that they're coming back. If they're going back to Navarro, Favreau seems to really like the little guys. So
they're a great aspect that can offer up some comedic relief, and they're also like really handy. So there's multiple reasons to have them be a part of this. And at that panel, they showed off there was an Anzellan like on top of one of the BX droids, and they were like, we made like the Disney Imagineers made this little guy who's fully animatronic, really really cool looking. So I assume he might pop up in the parks too.
Oh, this is cringe right here.
J.J. Abrams first came up with them for the Rise of Skywalker. We used them in the Mandalorian show. They're going to be in the new film, Mandalorian Grogu, and they specialize in droid repair. And this little guy's name is Otto. Is that him? Yeah, so Otto, he's a little bit obstinate from what I heard.
Or he might be in the game or in the Smuggler's Run ride.
I didn't think about that being in the park as well. That would be a fun little treat.
Maybe instead of Hondo, they have just a little Anzellan up there.
That would be hilarious to have Anzellan send you on a mission. I don't think they're going to get rid of Hondo just because that animatronic looked like a huge investment.
Sure.
Seems like it would have to really rework the whole introduction to the ride.
Or he could be, I mean, he's so small, he could be like set up, and they wouldn't put him in the cockpit because people would probably mess with him.
It'll be 4 Anzellans in a trench coat, and they're sending you on whatever mission. But Mando and Grogu is
No
over
one-
a year
oh
away.
my
Andor season 2 is
God.
much closer, and Tony Gilroy has been
Here
doing
we
a ton
go.
of interviews promoting it. He spoke with like Entertainment Weekly and Collider, TV Line, I think Rotten Tomatoes.
I9.
Yeah,
So
Gizmodo.
basically, he spoke with all the big shill sites. Good.
So talking about Andor season 2, answering a lot of the same questions, but still kind of fun to see him promoting the show.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to give too much story away, obviously. I feel like the kinds of questions he's getting and like topics that are coming up in these interviews, it's very much like, we know fans are already super excited for season 2 and they're going to watch it no matter what. Throwing out all the critically acclaimed quotes and stuff
Yeah, of course, because they're shills, dumbass.
like that. He's really keeping it close to the chest as far as talking about story and like plot for season 2.
I'm really glad that even though I feel like it had been confirmed by that special look, he talked a lot about the Gorman massacre, and I'm glad that they're just like, yeah, that's what it is. It's happening.
That was something, I mean, they probably talked about that and they were like, fans know what this is. It's been talked about for a long time and like speculated on, like, is it going to show up in the show? So yeah, I'm not surprised that he
Well, who cares if it shows up, Molly? It's gonna suck ass on virtue that, Tony Gilroy's a fake Star Wars fan. Never fucking forget that Gilroy's only really making this show because he's just piggybacking off the Star Wars brand so he can tell his own fucking story.
just kind of came out and was like, yes, this is what we're doing.
Absolutely selfish.
But then he said it's happening over 5 episodes.
He says it carries over 5 episodes, which I'm wondering what that means, because I don't think that means the massacre will last for 5 episodes.
I really hope not.
No.
That is not good television.
Oh, that'd be brutal. Like, you feel so beat down. No, I think it'll
Well,
be
at least Molly and Alex realize that shit that's drawn out as fuck.
Arc 1, we get a little taste of what happens on Gorman. Like, we got it mentioned in Season 1 a handful of times. Season 2, Arc 1, we can check in and show, like, the protests are building. And Arc 2, protests are building more, and now the Empire is kind of stepping in. And then Arc 3 maybe is everything that happens, the lead up to it, and then the third episode, or maybe second episode, will be the Gorman Massacre. I'm also curious how it's going to play into Mon Mothma's flight from the Senate. If that's going to be its own
Who cares?
arc, or if that will be the conclusion of the Gorman Massacre arc. We know from Star Wars Rebels that she does her big speech denouncing the Emperor after the massacre.
Yeah, of course. Fucking ass rebels.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be immediately following the massacre.
Right.
I mean, who gives a shit how long it takes from the end of the massacre to the speech? It's still after the damn thing.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that all kind of plays out. But yeah, Mon Mothma's story is very closely connected to the events on Gorman. Gorman? Is that the name of the planet?
Not really. Not really. Tarkin is more closer to that story than Mon Mothma, really.
Yeah, they're the Gorman people on the planet Gorman.
Okay. But I like the idea of taking their time to really build up to the main event, the big like massacre. I hate keeping.
Yeah, we have to keep saying the word massacre, and it's like, and it's so weird to be excited for a massacre, but
I'll just
I
say
am.
the big event.
It's just the name of the event, you pussies. Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
That happens on Gorman. I think taking multiple episodes over multiple arcs to tell the story.
What do you think is gonna happen at it? Do you think like a motherfucking huge ass like beetle fly is gonna show up and rip everyone's tongues out and then write massacre on the wall with their blood? Of course not.
This event builds and eventually happens is a good idea.
And I'm really glad that it's happening in a show like Andor. That it feels like it's going to fit within the tone, but also I trust Tony Gilroy to really give it the weight that it deserves. And this is something that has never been truly shown in Star Wars. It was in like RPG source materials. It was mentioned in a couple stories and legends. It's always been a big...
Fuck you, my guy! See this right here, Alex? This is for you for continuing to fall into the fucking Disney trap of calling the expanded universe legends. Fuck you, and I hope you sleep outside the house tonight for saying that.
Thing where we knew what happened in Legends, but it was never just like depicted
In the rain, no less.
in a story. And now to have it
We
shown,
know what happens in it, jackass. Tarkin drops an entire Star Destroyer on people. Then we know what happens in there, even if it's never been displayed in a story before.
in a story in a show like Andor, where I think they're going to talk about how horrific it is, and it won't be like just this vague, horrible thing that happened. I think we're going to be like, yeah, that was truly horrific. And just the way that season
What could Disney even possibly do? Like, honestly, because they sure as shit don't have the fucking budget for it, and to just do that shit. So it's just gonna be a super generic, oh, the Empire just kills a whole bunch of people. It'll just be the fucking Boston Massacre, but in fucking Star Wars. That's really what it's gonna fucking be. It's like, oh, the people of Gorman are gonna get real fucking antsy, and then the Empire is gonna get real scared and shoot them. So what?
one showed the horrors of fascism from the top of the Empire all the way down to like...
Also, the Galactic Empire isn't fascist. They're authoritarian, but authoritarian does not equal fascist. The government is actually pretty damn split up and allocated neatly. Fucking dumbass.
self-important security guards. I think that we're going to be talking about it in a very different way in a few months.
Yeah.
It's also just strange to me that, like, I'm going to be having discussions with my parents about the Gorman Massacre. Like, they're going to know what that is. Tony also hopped on a live stream on Thursday. We haven't had a chance to watch.
Alex, your parents don't give a fuck. Let's be real here. My parents don't give a fuck. Oh, shit. I accidentally muted him.
Be talking about it in a very different way in a few months.
Yeah.
It's also just strange to me that, like, I'm going to be having discussions with my parents about the Gorman Massacre. Like, they're going to know what that is. Tony also hopped on a live stream on Thursday. We haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing because we had to pause recording this to go watch it, and then we popped back off. So we watched like half of it.
We're gonna go back and watch the other stuff.
But yeah, we missed the first half, watched the second half. Tony seems great, just very genuine. Funnier than I expected him to be. I've only seen him speak a handful of times, but he was cracking a lot of fun jokes.
Yeah.
Wearing the Narkina 5 swim team shirt.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. I thought that was a great wardrobe call on his part that I just wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
He seemed very playful, more playful than I thought he would be.
Right, and pleasure to see Ash back in moderating Star Wars things. I was really excited to see her on this. I think the whole idea of doing this little stream is really cool, and I hope that they do more.
Wait, did Molly just bring up Ash Rendar? The dude who catfished Kyle Katarn? Is that the Ash you're thinking of, Molly? Oy vey.
Like this.
We did get the chance to pre-record a question to send in, which was fun and interesting. That was like a fast whirlwind, but
Yeah, that was really cool.
Let's jump in to see what Star Wars Explained asked.
That's one way to tell people about Boost Mobile's new 5G network.
Christ.
Why are your teeth so white?
Ooh, big ass robots. Ooh, yeah. So we're gonna get back to the video.
Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Alex.
And we're from the YouTube channel Star Wars.
Jeez, it is really fucking weird to hear Molly introduce herself first instead of Alex. Christ. Also, on this fucking thumbnail right here, I'm gonna take a fucking screenshot of that, make that the fucking thumbnail. They look like they're welcoming you to their fucking cult. It's like, join the Disney slop cult. Anyway.
Wars Explained.
We are so excited for Andor Season 2. We loved Season 1, actually just finished a rewatch of it. Our question for you is, how do you think releasing 3 episodes at a time this season is going to affect how audiences connect with the show?
It means that Disney wants to get in their rear view ASAP instead of airing one a week.
I think that it's really cool for us. It's how we made the show. So for us, it makes sense. We really feel like we made 8 Star Wars films over the last 5.5 years. So we make them in these blocks of.
Yeah, real fucking hilarious. Also, who else is this guy? USA thought he was, the hell's his face? This conservative political commentator, but he looks like he belongs in fucking prison. Oh, fucking Christ, I have no idea who this guy is. He's like, I'm gonna get my fucking day one of these days. I'm gonna fucking slaughter everyone in this fucking room. Oh, man.
3, so they're being presented to the audience in the sort of digestible frame that we make them. I feel really sorry for all the podcasters. We talked about this before.
Dude, like one a week is about as digestible as you can fucking get. One a week is objectively the best way to air episodes and build audience engagement. It objectively is.
It's like, it's like now they gotta it's gonna complicate.
And if you want to make long and bro, listen, I've been saying this for years about the streaming formula, but if you want to make longer episodes that aren't conventional lengths, like they're not 30 minutes, not 45 minutes, they're not an hour, just make longer fucking episodes, period. Like, seriously, it's on streaming. It's on the internet. It's not airing on TV. You don't have to conform to traditional fucking airing practices like set episode lengths. The episodes can be as long or as short as you want them to be. So if you really just want to make 3 huge ass episodes, just do that instead of airing like 3 small episodes at once. You fucking morons. Take advantage of the opportunities you're being allowed.
In people's lives, but I'm assuming, that if other people are like I watch things as randomly as anybody else does. So I mean, it offers the opportunity to watch any way you want. But if you want the movie and you want the whole block and you want to eat it all at once, it's there for you.
Yeah, Tony, I'm sweating about my coverage. I gotta tell you.
So basically, he's basically asking his audience, like, do you want like all the fucking slop at once, or do you want to eat the slop at your own fucking pace? That's basically what he's getting at.
But we love it.
We submitted like 3 questions, and then they came back and picked one for us to actually record. So we did that, and our question wound up being how the 3 episode at a time release is going to affect how fans interact with the show. And Tony actually did like laugh and said, "Well, it's going to make things difficult for podcasters," which we've joked about how I assumed he was saying that very sarcastically, but he actually did seem like, sorry.
Yeah, I'm glad he brought that up because it's true. Like, just reading interviews with him, you don't really get a lot of the feeling behind what he's saying. So we definitely were like, oh, he's just being sarcastic. Like, no one cares what podcasters have to go through to get their jobs done. But it did seem like
I mean, does Tony Gilroy care about anyone but himself? Let's be real here.
Was legitimately like, I'm sorry if this makes anyone else's jobs harder, or like talking about the show being a podcaster. Like, it did seem like he was genuine about what he said.
Which I mostly thought was funny. Like, I want to be clear, we don't think that they should do the release schedule based on what podcasters have to go through. Like, that's stupid. But I think it's funny that he actually seems to be getting more and more into the Star Wars fandom. And like I've talked about,
too damn late. We don't want him in there.
How when season 1 was airing, he saw a channel that was reacting to it and loved their reaction, and then reached out to them and was like, "Can I be on your show and like talk about Andor with you?" And obviously they said yes. And I just like seeing Tony go from someone who was like so far removed from Star Wars to like writing Rogue One, and now like it's 10 years later almost, and he is hopping on podcasts and cracking.
He's swindling us, Alex. Don't fucking buy into what he says. He just wants to convert more people to his bullshit vision on what he thinks Star Wars ought to be. When again, he's a swindler.
Jokes and wearing shirts. Like, it was just a lot of fun to watch him through that.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. So clearly if he's wearing shirts, then it must mean he's legit. Yeah, sure. If he showed up with a Star Trek shirt, well, he just wouldn't be legit then, now would he? Or even worse, half naked.
That whole live stream answering nerdy Star Wars questions.
Right. It's so nice to see someone like Tony Gilroy really be so appreciative of fans and like the fandom in general, and want to kind of be more.
He doesn't give a shit. Not one fucking bit.
Part of it, and be more in conversation with fans. It's really great.
Are you ready to optimize your nutrition this year? Factor has chef-made gourmet meals that make eating well easy. They're dietitian approved and ready to heat and eat in 2 minutes.
Ah, fucking Christ. HelloFresh is better. Let's see what's happening in the world of Disney slop now,
to get
shall
50%
we?
off your first box plus free shipping. That's code StarWars50 off at factormeals.com/StarWars50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. Moving on into last week in canon, there were 2 stories that came out. We got the audiobook Haunted Starlight, which was
Oh god, is this the fucking... Oh, I think I remember him talking about this. Still looks like shit.
Just an Audible exclusive, and we also got Legacy of Vader issue 2. I'll go ahead and run...
Yay! More of that goofy-ass Kylo Ren comic no one fucking wanted.
Run through Haunted Starlight, which that actually came out last week, but I didn't have time to listen to it all before we covered anything, so I liked the story a lot. Honestly, kind of wished that it were...
Of course you fucking did! Did you expect anything less than for Alex to enjoy it, my guys? Of course he's gonna enjoy it. He's fucking paid to. He's not allowed to dislike anything. Christ. And if he does dislike anything, it's usually because of a super negligible point that's easy to brush aside. Because Disney can do no wrong when it comes to running Star Wars.
A book. Both Seeds of Starlight and Haunted Starlight together, I think, would have made a very interesting book that followed up on a lot of plot lines that we haven't revisited in a while.
Would it have worked having both of those stories in one book, or you're saying you wanted 2 separate books?
I think they could have done both.
Also, thank God High Republic is ending. Fucking Christ. It could not have happened sooner.
Stories together as a YA book, or separated them to be a middle grade book. I was just surprised that...
Star Wars shouldn't even really be for, young adult or fucking middle graders. Star Wars is for adults, plain and simple. I've been saying that for years, and I've even been saying that when I was a fucking kid. Let Star Wars be for adults. And if the kids want to get into it, they can get into it with the 6 films, plain and simple.
We dug so deep into what was going on with the Drin gear in these audiobooks that kind of just got announced and dropped out of nowhere. They didn't get as much fanfare as the books do, and I was like, this is kind of like some major story stuff, where we find out that the great progenitor of the Drin gear is still alive.
Oh shit, my bad. It's probably not all that major if it got fucking ignored in the fucking news circle. Now even by Disney Star Wars standards, and the Disney Star Wars EU is pretty damn unnewsworthy. Yes, I know that's not a word, but you get what I'm saying. It's largely irrelevant outside of the fucking shows and films.
What was going on with the Drin gear in these audiobooks that kind of just got announced and dropped out of nowhere. They didn't get as much fanfare as the books do, and I was like, this is kind of like some major story stuff.
Also, Alex, of course the books are gonna get less fanfare than the fucking movies and shows. Books in general are just not engaged with as much as movies and shows. That's just a rule of thumb, my guy.
We find out that the great progenitor of the Drin gear is still alive, and that's why the Drin gear are waking back up around the galaxy. So the Jedi have to go down into the wreckage of Starlight Beacon at the bottom of the ocean. And that was just awesome. To revisit Starlight Beacon, I thought was a very cool thing. So part of me was like, man, I connect more with books than I do just listening to things. So I was like, I think I would love to read this or read it in a comic or something.
Well, at least Alex is based in that regard. He'd rather read than lead an audiobook. So you got 1 point this week, Alex. You got 1 point with me.
Have it a little visually.
Shame you can't get any more than that.
I think that would have been cool.
Got a fucking clothing ad! Go the fuck away!
Hotels with spas. Oh. Beach resorts with spas.
Oh, I need a fucking vacation from the Sex-Splains.
I wonder if it might be, because where else had the Drin gear been popping up before we got these stories?
They were in...
Who cares?
Of the Force. They popped up in the books just in the sense that the Jedi have noticed that they're waking back up, but they also noticed that they just seem to be fleeing the blight.
Yeah, it just seems to me like a lot of the Drin gear story had been in the comic books.
It was, yes.
So I wonder if they were like, the book readers might not have read about the Drin gear stuff as much, so maybe we just put these out as Audible originals, do them as audiobooks only.
I don't know.
That just tells me that Disney has zero fucking faith in people to actually fucking read shit.
Yeah, I have no idea what the decision making is behind some of where each story goes. But regardless, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cool story.
Because lest we forget, we're living in Generation fucking Lazy and Generation ADHD.
Also,
who are the main characters in these stories?
Tep Tep and Kildo are two major characters. Okay. They're from several middle grade books.
Yeah, great fucking names right here. Tep Tep and Kildo. I mean, fuck, Kildo sounds like a fucking sex toy that'll kill you, for God's sake. Christ.
Several middle grade books. Cam is a new Padawan character, who I would say is the main character of these.
Bro looks, yeah. Hang on, let me go back and get his picture up here. Yeah, real fucking masculine-ass Jedi. Real heroic figure right here. Yeah, sure.
Of these. But Tep Tep was awesome.
Totally looks like he can fucking save the day without whining like a little bitch.
She is like very in tune with animals, and she basically helps
So she's basically a fucking Disney princess. Fucking great.
barter a truce between the Jedi and the Dringir. There was a line I really loved where it says, Tep finds it impossible to see monsters. And she's just really good at showing compassion to creatures that otherwise people are just like, they have no redeeming qualities. So
sounds like a blithering moron who can't fucking understand when the animal is a dangerous monster. It's gonna fucking kill her.
I really liked her story in this. In comics, we got Legacy of Vader issue 2, and this had some big news in it. We found out that Watto, we don't necessarily know if Watto was alive, but we do find out that Darth Vader did not kill Watto, which was, there were some preview pages that were put out without context, and it showed Vader.
Well, yeah, we know for fact that Watto wasn't killed by Vader. What did you expect?
Like he was attacking Watto.
We all thought that was what was happening.
Charles Soule was just laughing and laughing at us.
Sure. I mean, it did build up a lot of excitement, I think, for the series. And it's funny that you say that we don't know if he's alive, because I think it was Discussing Film put out a tweet, and it was like the comic book pages from this issue, and it was like, turns out Watto isn't effing dead, or something like that. And I was like, well, he probably is now.
Someone trashed his shop. Like, it didn't look like things had gone well for him. Right. And we knew that in episode 2.
But it wasn't Vader. According to Vinay, it wasn't Vader who killed him.
All we know is that Vader didn't kill Watto. He might be alive, he might be dead, we don't know.
A lot of Watto stands out there, I gotta say. It's strange.
There's a lot of Watto stands out there. Jesus H. Lucas, this fucking cow, man. You know, any of y'all who've been keeping up with my Twitter know that I've been really fucking vocal on the we need to gatekeep fandoms. This bitch is the reason why.
We talked about this.
Someone in our LEGO stream this past week asked, like, what's a Glup Shadow that you don't get? And I was like, you know what? Kind of Watto. I mean, like, when we went to see The Phantom Menace on May 4th last year, he got, like, a lot of applause. And we looked at each other and we were like, really? Watto? Like, he's a slave owner.
Yeah, he's not really a good guy. And then, like,
to be fair, if I was in... Okay, to be fair with the sex plans, I don't fucking deserve it, but to be fair with them, if I was in that theater and Watto got a fucking round of applause, I would think I was in a theater full of retards too. So, hey-ho.
Like, I guess in episode 2, you're meant to maybe feel like a little bit bad for him, but like, not really.
I never really felt bad for him.
I just think, like, since this news has come out that he wasn't actually killed.
I mean, he did get his fucking shop ruined, so he has that, I guess, but ugh.
I've seen like so many memes of him like floating around the internet. I'm like, wow, people really care a lot about Watto.
He's a little weirdo, and Star Wars fans love little weirdos.
I do love it.
It's probably if there's memes about him, it's probably more like because of like what he says, not out of a genuine approval of him. Christ.
Toydarians are great. Love Toydarians, but Watto specifically. He owns slaves. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
But Kylo Ren is on this journey learning about...
You don't say, sexplained!
...about Vader's past, Anakin's past, which I do think it's interesting. Vinay seems to be telling him a lot of this stuff for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like no one
taught... Oh, God. Isn't Vinay that motherfucker who's, like, a dude who's, like, a head in, like, a fishbowl in that stupid-ass spider droid? I was like, what the fuck is this guy? I think he was. Let me look at that picture
Love
again.
Toydarians, but Watto specifically... he owns slaves. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
But Kylo Ren is on this journey.
It fucking is. Oh my God. Whoever came up with this guy was smoking crack. Even if the fucking design was good, this is just a stupid concept.
Learning about Vader's past, Anakin's past, which I do think it's interesting. Vinay seems to be telling him a lot of this stuff for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like no one taught young Ben Solo about his grandfather.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter talking about this, and they were like, why did no one tell young Ben Solo about Anakin eventually like being redeemed, going back to the light side?
Because the Disney trilogy is poorly written and poorly planned out, and Disney doesn't know what the hell they're doing with anything in Star Wars at this point. They're just going through the motions and shit, just pumping content out, and that's it.
That I think he knew. At least if we go back to like the Force Awakens novelization, which, you know, the novelizations are a little gray in the canon of it all, but he knew about that. But I'm surprised.
Of course the novelizations aren't canons, because they're not the films, jackass.
Know anything about his childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wouldn't anyone teach him about who Anakin was?
Well, who would know those stories at this point?
I guess that's a fair point.
Gotcha.
A lot of characters, like Kitsta for one, or Kitster. I always forget the exact way to pronounce his name, but Anakin's one of Anakin's buddies from Tatooine that Leia met during, I think it was Tatooine Ghost, I believe. And he basically was all like, oh, Anakin wasn't all that bad a guy. I knew him when I was a kid. And that's what convinced Leia to name their third kid after Anakin. Anakin Solo. Rest in peace, you mad lad. We'll never forget your sacrifice, Anakin, no matter how many times Disney tries to bulldoze over it. Anyway.
Oh God, not the gotcha dancer.
What the hell is this?
Maybe Bail Organa. He might have known something. But yeah, he probably didn't have the whole story. I mean, Yoda could have, he and Obi-Wan didn't really seem too forthcoming with Luke. I'm just saying, somewhere along the line, failure to communicate. And I feel like Ben Solo, as a child knowing this, it would have been good for him.
Right. And I did think it was interesting.
Well, Ben Solo isn't supposed to exist, for starters.
Issue that Vinay talks about all the files like that Palpatine had on Anakin throughout his life, which seems like, yeah, that makes sense. But I like having that kind of like confirmed, and the idea of like Vinay going through all of this stuff and like studying it.
I think that they had to write that into the issue because one of my questions early on in issue 2, I was just like, how does Vinay know this? And then like next page, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So otherwise, yeah, no one would really know the story of how Anakin grew up and all this. So I'm glad that we know that somewhere there were specific files documenting some of these events.
It's on whatever the Wikipedia of, I guess it's just Star Wars Wikipedia in their universe.
Yeah.
It's called the HoloNet, dumbass.
And Vinay has full access to it, which is great because he's been there for a long time and he needs something to read.
One of the frames I really liked is when Ben thought back to his own childhood and was like pretending that he had it just as bad as Anakin. And it was just like a bunch of happy memories.
For fuck's sake. This is cringe right here.
Of like everything that he's left behind.
Yeah.
I was just like, you little turd. He then finds out that Gardula the Hutt was another one of Anakin's slave owners, and he wants revenge, I guess, on...
I mean, that's kind of like how I fucking described Babu frickin' Nubs. Like, you little turds.
Someone. He wants to remove her from the story, so he heads off basically to kill her. I think it's interesting. I think Vinay warns her that he's coming. That I don't know for sure he was talking to Gardula, but he called someone and was like, he's on his way and he seems mad.
Oh, maybe he was talking to the little guy.
Could be. So yeah, like let's get to the little guy. He shows up and some little weirdo pulls Kylo Ren's lightsaber away from him and...
The hell is this guy? The fuck? Where the fuck is Disney getting all these designs from? Like, oh my god, it looks disgusting. What on God's green earth just are they smoking over there?
Force pushes him.
It's not good. Not good at all.
Against the wall.
Says that he's weak in the Force.
Yeah, it says Kylo is weak, which of course upsets him, but like that causes Kylo Ren to be captured by Gardula the Hutt. Who is this little weirdo?
I like that Gardula had some lines that, and she was kind of like,
I've been yearning for this moment.
Sup, Nara girl? Sadly, I can't talk for long. I got the sex-splains to deal with.
Do you really think I wouldn't be prepared for like a Force user to come in here and try to get me?
Yeah, which I mean, I think that was great logic on her part.
Yes.
Be like, I know what happened to Jabba years ago, and I'm prepared now. I got this little buddy.
Yeah, who looks like Pokemon. He looks kind of like the rock Pokemon.
Geode a bit. Not Star Wars Geode, but Pokemon Geode.
Yeah. I was actually Googling.
It's Geodude, you dumbass.
Images of that Pokemon and like all the iterations of it, and I was like, yeah, it kind of looks like that. But there's already been some back and forth throughout the fandom. I think he's a little rock man, and he's like dry and hard, But you think he's squishy.
He looked squishy and wet to me. So that's like, you immediately were like, oh, cute. And I was like, really?
He's got big old eyes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he did not...
Moving on.
Scream cute to me.
I just imagine, when I was reading the lines that it was saying, I was imagining it in my head as like the voice of a small baby.
Could be.
I don't know why.
Like, he looks like something...
I don't know. Maybe it's because the only reason you're a Star Wars fan is because you like the cute widow things. Fucking pathetic.
It's the opposite of Diego Luna being like the texture of Yaba. I want to touch him. I'm like, I don't want to touch that thing.
Aww.
That if he is like a rock, I would be able to handle that better. But to me, he looks like this squishy.
I am a rock. I am an island.
Like, just full, it's like bulbous all over the place. And I'm like, ugh.
Do you not like frogs? They're squishy and kind of slimy.
They're all right. But I'm like, frogs, toads, I don't know that I would call them cute.
I guess
frogs are not really slimy. Not really. At least not in my professional opinion.
I mean, even if he is slimy and squishy, he didn't choose that life. That's just who he is.
Also, why are we talking about this? Move on from it already!
I don't know why I'm standing by this little guy so hard.
Because you're a fucking dumbass bitch. That's why. Cause all you fucking want is to just fucking fondle the fucking cute little critters and shit. Like a fucking like fucking Elmira from fucking, what is it? Fucking, like that stupid ass Pinky and the Brain sequel. It's like, keep all fucking animals and children away from this dumbass bitch. Actually, you know what? Never mind. The face she's making right now is the thumbnail. There we go. Yes, sir, it is. Moving on.
He might be a terrible, terrible creature.
I mean, so far I like him. I think he's interesting.
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny when you were like, hey, he's so cute.
Why? Oh, it's because he's cute. Of course. Why did I forget?
Oh, it's the Ant-Man thing. He's so ugly. I love him.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, anytime we get to see Kylo Ren kind of like put in his place a little bit,
Sure.
is a good time.
Moving on to Last Week in Fandom, I wanted to give a shout out to Pod of Rebellion, the new Star Wars Rebels rewatch podcast that's got Tia Sakar, Taylor.
These poor bastards right here. Oh, they don't know what the hell they're missing. They're missing all the good shit, and yet they're choosing to watch that stupid-ass Rebels crap.
Gray and Vanessa Marshall on it, hosted by John Lee Brody. So Hera, Ezra, and Sabine, all talking about Rebels. They just released their first episode.
I love
Oh, it's the fucking voice actors. Oh, fucking wonderful. Great. Yeah, totally an unbiased review of Rebels. Yeah.
They're doing this. I am very excited to listen to some of these episodes.
I listened to the first episode. It was less about like the show itself and more about their experiences, which I would expect.
Guys, get my members of the GKA. If you're watching this video, we gotta leave fucking troll reviews on their shitty ass podcast. Let's do it to it, people.
Like talking about voice acting, how they were kind of a rarity and that they would all record together.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that I knew that they took video of them recording. I figured it was for behind the scenes purposes, but they also would give that to the animators, so they would use their expressions and their gestures and stuff. So there was some fun stuff to learn about that.
Yeah,
Not
I think it'll
real.
be interesting and like.
Oh wow, sounds like standard ass voice recording procedure. Fucking dumbass.
Have a lot of cool behind the scenes tidbits, because we were talking about this the other day. Just like, we don't really get a ton of behind the scenes or extras or anything on physical media anymore. So I do really like the idea of having a podcast where the actual voice actors can come in.
Yeah, because physical media doesn't get fucking made anymore, you dumb cow.
And talk about fun stuff that people may not know.
At the end, Vanessa Marshall gave a shout out to the Rogue Rebels family, who we've known Sal for a long time, but they were like some of the first Star Wars Rebels cosplayers. They did a whole family of cosplay.
Oh, these poor bastards. Oh god, I feel really fucking bad. Actually, wait a minute, no, they're Disney Star Wars shills. Of course I don't feel bad. These guys are fucking losers right here, and I hope they feel bad. If I walked up to them, I'd fucking smack them all across the face. Yeah.
Playing together, and I thought it was great that Vanessa gave them a shout out.
Yeah, that's nice to hear.
Moving into our last segment, last week in
who
questions,
cares?
we took some from Patreon and some from YouTube. Did want to say, I forgot to mention last week that we did a Princess Mononoke watch along that has been released on our Patreon. That was my first time.
Oh my god, they look absolute cringe. Christ. It's like, who the hell wears 3D glasses anymore? Be real here.
Watching it ever. I think it was my first
Stupid as shit.
Ghibli movie, actually.
Did you see that since doing that, it came out, or it's coming back out in theaters and IMAX?
Yeah, 4K IMAX. I was like, of course.
Of course.
Oh, hang on. Was that the dog? Did I miss the
I forgot to mention
dog?
last week that we did a Princess Mononoke watch along that has been released on our Patreon. That was my first time watching it ever. I think it was my first Ghibli movie, actually.
Did you see that since doing that, it came out, or it's coming back out in theaters and IMAX?
Yeah, 4K
Oh, it's the dog. Is the dog gonna do anything fucking stupid?
IMAX. I was like, of course.
Of course.
But I did like it quite a bit. And this week, right now, we just put out a Love is Blind discussion for our Beyond the Stars podcast.
No, it doesn't look like the dog's gonna do anything.
Yay.
So it's a bonus podcast that we did with our friends Jill and Sean, just to yell about the latest episode, or the latest season of Love is Blind.
Yeah, I don't know how much crossover there is with our viewers and people who watch Love is Blind, but it's something that we have had a lot of fun watching and talking about.
Definitely kind of I don't feel guilty watching it, but like a guilty pleasure, just reality TV.
It's trash TV.
Trash
and
TV,
and we love it.
But our first question comes from Bill.
So no wonder you like Disney Stars so much. You like trash TV. Good to fucking know. Thanks for clearing that up.
Rudd, who asks, what are the odds that we hear the name Sheev in season 2 of Andor?
Sheev ain't even... Sheev isn't supposed to be Palpatine's first name. Palpatine's not supposed to have a first name, or at least not have it be revealed. So there you go.
I hope not.
I think like close to 0.
Close to 0.
I would be shocked if they said Palpatine's first name.
I mean, was he even called that after he became the Emperor?
Yeah, maybe he tried to wipe that name away. He's like, I never liked Sheev.
Yeah, I don't go
I mean, Palpatine doesn't like his first name anyway, so yeah.
by that name anymore.
So I think we will hear the name Palpatine. I think we heard that once or twice in season 1. But if Wolf Yularen drops a Sheev, I'll be shocked.
Maybe it's speaking.
Well, anyway, moving on. I was gonna bring up how Wolf Yularen. Yeah. I almost had to fuck up, and I thankfully caught myself. Moving on.
In a derogatory way or terms that way we might hear it.
But yeah, maybe Saw Gerrera will drop a hard Sheev.
A hard Sheev.
Why the hell would Saw fucking know Palpatine's first name exactly?
But I feel like most people don't know that that's Palpatine's first name, especially like the wider audience that just watches the live action shows.
Yeah.
So then you fall into this whole like, wait, what did they say? That's his name? Like it would bring up all the discussions that happened, I think, when the book Tarkin first dropped.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid, and it's why they shouldn't have revealed it to begin with. Some shit is just better left unrevealed, more or less.
For that bit of knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see them only referring to him as the Emperor Palpatine, Senator Palpatine.
Maybe a Darth Sidious if there's someone in the know, but probably not. They seem to be staying away from a lot of the Force Jedi Sith stuff.
Yeah.
Taco Bowler.
Yeah, it's almost as if it's not a true Star Wars show. It's like, why the hell would you make a fucking Star Wars show without without the Force at all factoring into it? Like, come on, guys.
What are the chances of Leia being an Andor?
I don't think she'll be in it. I don't want to see
Why
another
would she?
character in this.
I think that there's a chance that like we could do younger Leia, but I am not expecting it. But I agree, like Tarkin is already a possibility, and the deepfake stuff is just kind of exhausting at this point.
Tarkin, because
just recast Tarkin then. If Tarkin is in the show, God forbid he is, but if he is, just recast them for fuck's sake. People need to fucking realize that if they want to keep using these characters, they're gonna have to accept the reality that the actor's gonna die and they're gonna have to move on with a different actor. Plain and simple. I do not give a damn how emotionally attached you are to a specific performance the actor gave. I do not give a damn, and I'm well past the point of caring.
Because of his history with the Gorman Massacre, I could see getting a line, just like voice work for Tarkin, or maybe just like a shot of him from behind, not really showing any face, but bringing in characters and having to use full CGI, full deepfake technology. You have characters like Stellan Skarsgård and Forrest Whitaker and Genevieve O'Reilly giving these amazing performances.
Well then just get a new actor in for Tarkin. I don't want them to, but if they really want Tarkin to show up, that's the route they ought to go.
I don't want to see like a deepfake person in the midst of all of that.
I'm kind of expecting that Tarkin's going to be in it.
Maybe just a hologram?
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up fully just as he was in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not like fully expecting it, but I'm like preparing for it. So much more has come out about the deepfake technology, and I like it less and less, so I'm not rooting for it, but I won't be surprised. Leia, I feel the same.
Though, Alex, I hate to keep repeating myself, but you're leaving out one really fucking important thing. Recast!
Way about her as I do like Darth Vader. I don't think Darth Vader's going to show up in season 2. I don't think he should. Same with Leia. Like, they both pop up at the very end to lead us into A New Hope. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more fitting. I think that's a more impactful way to use them than for them to show up in Andor.
Right.
Estelle Getty Jr. asks what Vader would do if he ever successfully resurrected Padme. I think this is coming because we talked about the Vader's castle and its original purpose and everything, and he does try to resurrect her at least twice.
And that is an interesting question, because would he then give up everything about his life as Vader and working with Palpatine, or would he continue to try to convince zombie Padme that what they're doing is good?
I, first of all, don't think that what he wants is really possible. I mean, he straight up tries in the Darth Vader comics, reaches at least a vision of her, and she denies him. Like, I think that at the end of Revenge of the Sith, she's like, you're going down a path I can't follow. I don't want to be around you anymore.
So much so that I'm dying.
Yeah, so I don't think that it's really a possibility. I also don't think that Vader's thought that far ahead. Like, he's just, what's the Joker say? He's a dog chasing a car, and if he ever got hold of a tire, like, he doesn't know what he'd do with it.
Right. Yeah, I like thinking of it that way, because you're right. Like, I don't even think Vader, because Vader as a character is not very hopeful, so does he actually think any of this is going to work?
I think he does, and I think he probably assumes that Padme will forgive him or something, and she's an understanding person, but not that understanding.
Right, yeah, and she would probably be appalled at the idea of him using all this, like, dark side Sith stuff to resurrect her.
So yeah, like, I just don't think he even has a plan, that he's just going to work and try hard. And I think in his mind, if he can just resurrect Padme, when I lost Padme, that's when everything fell apart.
Yeah.
Well, Padme's obviously not coming back, because that would just fuck up continuity so fucking much. So I don't even know what the hell they're on about right now. Christ, on a bike.
That's not true.
Right. It's
He gave it all up.
Yeah, you did this.
He gave it all up.
Yeah. But that's it for last week in canon. Pippin wanted to say hi,
Oh
right?
my god, save that fucking cat right there.
The end. For next week, we have a little preview. We're going to get some new Young Jedi Adventures episodes next week.
Yay! More of fucking nubs.
And the High Republic Adventures issue 16. So we'll be covering those stories next week along with any news that comes out.
Oh my god, the High Republic cannot end any fucking sooner. Is Jacob still there?
Answering more questions. But if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.
Nope, Jacob's gone. Oh, Christ. Another fucking week, another shitty-ass video by the Sexplains. Down! Oh, my God. Oh, Christ. I had to fucking play on my phone to keep myself stimulated during this, because they are boring. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up, comment below if you love it, subscribe if you want more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time in the backseat. Take care.